Hi everyone, Marion Embossing here for Wow Embossing Powder, working with the totally amazing powders again. I just absolutely love these powders. I feel like all my Christmas cards are going to be with these. I'm also going to be using the Blizzard Hugs stamp and one of the dies that match it as well from the Ton stamps. Again, I didn't know what I was doing on this. I'm just winging it basically. I sort of had an idea in my head and I'd thought I'd sort of have a little play around, but it turns out totally different to what I envisaged. So I'm using the Wow Superior Smooth cardstock, and the card base that I use is where I literally just take a piece of the A4 card and I cut it in half lengthways and then fold it over tenfold style, and that becomes my card base. I've also got a scrap piece that I start doing something with and then I sort of think, nah, do you know what? I'm going to use that for something else. So it's all part of the process, I suppose. So I'm going to ink up my snowflake and then I stamp it straight down into the centre of the card, because I was thinking about mounting this onto the card. I was going to die cut it and then mount it on, etc. But as you see later, it changes. And the colour I'm using on this is the Real Teal. This is one of the teals that's in that set. There's actually two teals in the set and a gilded, which is it's like a champagne colour, but they're not sparkly. I don't know how to describe them. They're sort of crystally. I don't know. They're so suited to snowflakes. They're just fabulous. So I've heated it up from underneath, and when you see me waving it, that's just me cooling it down a little bit, because I'm now going to die cut it, and if it's too hot and I stick the die on it, then the die's going to stick to it basically. So I'm lining my die up and then I'll just die cut it down. If anyone's wondering what I'm using underneath for my Sizzix, it's the, oh, do you know what? I can't remember what it's called now. It's a precision plate. It's a full metal one. It's fabulous, especially for intricate dies. I could have, or I should have, used a bit of wax paper in between and then it would have just popped straight out, but I forgot. So I'm just going to poke a few little bits just to get it started and then I can take it out. So what happens is I've still got the outline there and then that's the centrepiece, and you can see a few little bits of the Real Teal on there. Anyway, I decide to change track now and I'm placing the centre one in the centre of the card just to give me an idea of where I need to stamp. So I just use that as a marker basically, and then I can move it away, and then I'm just going to stamp down, and then this time I'm going to use the Ice Teal. This is beautiful as well. I end up using all three colours on this card. So I just put it back in the pot, get rid of that, and then I'm going to ink up again and just sort of using that as a guide. I'm just doing it roughly where I just line up opposite again. So I just get myself set up on there, and then I'm going to apply more powder to this one and then shake off the excess and throw it all back in the pot. You always want to do this as you go along. And then I'm going to heat set from underneath. So I've just sped this bit up. So I like to do it from underneath because you're going to get a much better finish. Fold it back down. And now, because I've already heat set those two, I can now go in and stamp and emboss the centre one. If I hadn't have heat set those, as I put the stamp down, it would have picked up the loose powder that hadn't been heated. So you always want to emboss if you're going to stamp over the top. So just going to heat set that. Didn't speed that one up so you could see how long it took. It doesn't take long at all. I give that a little shake as well. And then I start thinking, do you know what? This is where I can use that bit, the inner bit that came out, because it's so beautiful. But I thought, no, I don't want to leave it white. You can still see little bits of the blue on there. So then I decided to do it in the gilded. And the easiest way to do this is to take a brayer straight over it, so you're getting all that ink on there. But what you really want to do before you put any powder on is lift it up and flip that paper over, because otherwise if I'd have poured the powder on there, it would have actually just stuck to all that ink that I'd just brayered on there. So always make sure you do that. And then anchor it down to heat set it. I let it go in a minute and it flies off. There we go. Just keep it anchored down. You're just going to heat set that. Such a beautiful colour. And then I'm going to put that over the top and I'm just going to offset it. So I need a little foam pad. So the ones I've got are quite large. So I'm just going to cut a tiny little corner off of one, just so that I can put that in the centre and then stick it down so it just raises it off of it. And I'm just going to stick that down, offsetting it from the snowflake that's underneath. So then you get to see both of them. And then I want to just add a little sentiment to it. So I'll just grab the stamps again. There's a lovely one saying sending hugs, which is just really nice. Lovely font. So I'm just going to stamp that down. I put it on a block with lines on. I just find that so much easier. So you want to just make sure, I think I missed a little bit, so I just go back in. I'm using the VersaFine Onyx Black. I don't press too hard, especially when it's such a fine font. And then I decided that I wanted to use this piece. I couldn't let it go to waste, so I show you a card at the end. There you go, what I made out of it. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Take care. Bye.